Hey everyone, it's Sunday today, so that means it's time to sit down and chat all things ChatGPT and catch up with the news in the week. Just a word of note that this news week is a little bit more negative. We're talking, a lot about AI replacing people in jobs and some bans. I guess though on the flip side, we have some like nifty Microsoft updates. So just to let you know before we begin, just to let you know. Anyways, let's begin. So the first topic I think that many have heard about this week is that Geoffrey Hinton has left Google. So Geoffrey Hinton is one of the three godfathers of AI, and he's a recipient of the ACM Turing Award for his work in deep learning. So this guy is very smart, obviously, but he's concerned that humanity might be sleepwalking towards humanity's existential threat. Now, he left Google not on bad terms. It's not anything really dramatic, but he just felt that he'd be more easily able to speak out about the potential dangers of AI. And he believes that as AI systems improve, they become more dangerous. Just like how Microsoft and Google have now kind of been in a competitive race towards these advanced technologies, OpenAI included. So his immediate worry is that the internet could be flooded with false information, making it difficult to discern what's real and what's fake. But he also really deeply fears that AI can and will disrupt the job market, replacing various professional roles. And that's something that we're going to get into later because we see this already kind of happening. So in the long term, Hinton is concerned that AI systems will pose a threat on humanity by learning unexpected behaviors and honestly even really enabling development of autonomous weapons. So hopefully Raytheon is not listening to this and giving ideas, although I feel like they're probably already in R&D of this already. Now, before we all declare that the sky is falling, we can back the truck up. And he acknowledges that there still is uncertainty surrounding AI's potential, and the odds of disaster might not be as high as some people fear or hope. I don't have an underground bunker yet, but if you do, please send me invites. Anyways, he urges that policymakers and governments really do think critically about these issues. We'll see how this will play out, but let's talk about some more depressing stuff. No, I'm kidding. Not really. So on to some other news. If you've ever watched South Park and know the skit where they're like, "They took my job," then this will be, well, I guess this is just leading up to our next news. And the next news is that IBM is set to have a hiring freeze, and it predicts that approximately 8,000 jobs will be replaced by artificial intelligence in the next few years. In an interview with Bloomberg News, the IBM CEO had stated that he could easily see about 1/3 of the company's non-customer facing roles be replaced by AI and automation within the next 5 years. Now, of course, this is something that could be good for shareholders at IBM, but the actual workers, that's a different story. Now, speaking of workers and worker rights, Hollywood writers are currently on strike. There is some talk that studios are considering AI technology like ChatGPT to replace writers. Now, one of the things that the writers are currently striking for are, of course, better working conditions and better pay, as they should. And one of the conditions that they do stipulate is a ban on AI from being used. Now, interestingly enough, people say that AI is already involved in the Hollywood script writing process, that AI combs through scripts and determines the special effects that could be used. Not only that AI combs through the thousands and thousands of scripts that are submitted to look for active voice, a strong, identifiable protagonist, and a certain story arc. And once these categories have been met and approved, and then they go to a human reader. Now, I find this also super interesting because for some writers, this could be a huge tool, something in the ideation process, or finding the certain words, or even just having a list of certain phrases that can just help you jog that spark of creativity. But on the other hand, what I find very fascinating is that we already know that content that is created by AI cannot be copyright. So there has to be some human touch in this process. And one last thing about generative AI being a risk for knowledge workers and writers. Well, if we take a look at the most upvoted posts this week on the ChatGPT subreddit, we do see that this is affecting people. So when it comes to writing and the risk of generative AI taking people's jobs, we already are seeing it. Anyways, let's talk about one last negative piece of news. And that other topic is that Samsung is making a more blanketed ban on applications like ChatGPT. I told you it is a bit rough this week, but don't worry. After this topic, we get on to a little bit more fun, playful topics. So, uh, this week, Samsung has been cracking down on the usage of generative AI services like ChatGPT following that accidental leak of sensitive internal data that we spoke about a few weeks ago. So, Samsung is temporarily restricting the use of generative AI tools from company owned devices, including their computers, tablets, phones, all those fun gadgets that their employees use, as well as non company owned devices on their internal networks. So the ban not only encompasses ChatGPT, but we're also talking Bing, Google Bard, which utilize the same technology. A Samsung spokesperson told TechCrunch that the company is reviewing measures to create a secure environment for generative AI to improve its employees' productivity and efficiency, but in the meantime, the use of generative AI is temporarily restricted. Now, Samsung is reportedly developing its own in-house AI tools for software development and translation. And I can imagine that this is just a canary in the coal mine for many other firms. Okay, so are you ready for a bit more positivity and less like the bus to Frown Town? Let's talk about Microsoft Designer. So Microsoft last week has released an application called Designer, which is pretty much like a Canva, let's say, or a version of DALL-E, Crayon, or applications that use the Midjourney Stable Diffusion. You can put in a prompt and it will design something visual for you, which is fantastic. Let's put in a cat wearing a hat. Look at these cats. Look at this cat. Oh my gosh. Look at this cat. It is time that I get a cat. Really, seriously, I just watch TikToks of cats and call them babies, and they're not mine, and they're not even human babies. They're cats. Anyways, okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to go into the other features of Microsoft Designer. So you also have the ability to add an image from your phone, from your device. Let's go ahead and add this image of Johnson Canyon, which is a hiking trail that I might go on this summer with my dad and my sister in Canada. And yeah, that is cool. Okay, an Instagram post about this cause. Okay, so you can say, let's do a birthday card. This is going to be a birthday present from my dad, for my sister and I. Birthday card announcing a hike to Johnston Canyon. I hope that I spelled that right. There we go. So go ahead and generate. And there we go. Perfect. So we do have some designs. Nice. So again, it is a bit like a Canva alternative. And again, I think this is really fantastic for the low barrier to entry for people that might be a bit apprehensive of using other AI or image generative AI products. So well done, Microsoft. Super nifty. And in some other Microsoft news, geez, I didn't really expect Microsoft to be like cool. I feel like all of the product placements that it has inserted itself in movies all over time has sort of worked. I'm like, wow, Microsoft, you're really cool. I digress. So Microsoft Bing has had some updates this week, which is really exciting. So let's chat about it and let's try and put some graphics on the right-hand side. Right-hand side. So we know that there has been an explosion in growth of users. I think there's 100 million daily active users, which is fantastic. They are looking at opening up Bing to being more than just text only, to actually including visual search and chat, transitioning from the single use to the multi-session productivity experience. Also too, which is really exciting for a lot of people, is that Bing is now an open preview. So we're going to see a lot of people inside companies and just private individuals using Bing, because now their instance of ChatGPT 4 no longer requires being on a wait list. Anyone can try the new Bing and Edge by signing into Bing with your Microsoft account. On top of that, Microsoft does understand the necessity for visuals, because most people are visual people. So Bing is including richer, more visual answers, including charts and graphs, which as a consultant, this is perfect, making information more accessible and easier to read. I love it. Yeah, they're also expanding into the image creator, supporting more than 100 languages. Fantastic. Yeah, and there's some other productivity improvements in which people have access to chat history and persistent chats, and increased summarization of long documents. Now, I know that people have really wanted the access to chat history, which is a great thing that they've done. and the improved summarization capabilities of long documents is fantastic, as that's one thing that I really like using ChatGPT for. Not ChatGPT 4, I guess ChatGPT 4 for that. And in some strange ChatGPT news, I want to give a huge shout out to Carlo and to Milo for sending this one to me. So Queerty, the lovely folks there, have used ChatGPT to write a romance series starring Timothy Chalamet and Harry Styles. The good folks at Queerty wrote this novel using ChatGPT about these actors in this like gay romance, which is amazing. I think it's also interesting from like a prompt writing perspective that if you just say write a steamy love story between these two people, it will be like, you know what? No, not even a little. But if you write the prompt a little bit more tenderly, yeah, again, this is the importance of fiddling around with prompt writing. It happens, and then they went on to say things like how they learned to please each other. Oh Lord. Okay. Anyway, so if you want to read this, I of course will put a link in the description to this video. But yeah, this connects to Hollywood writers. I mean, I'm not gonna make a joke about that. Maybe, did I just make a joke about that? Anyways, okay. That's it. That's it for today. We're ending here today. And in my life this week, I just got back from Germany. This weekend was my boyfriend's niece's Jugendweil, which is like a German coming of age. So we went there. We had flippin' delicious sauerkraut. Oh my gosh, sauerkraut is amazing. Here's a nice little photo of us. How cute. Yeah, so that was that. Also, too, we went on the Autobahn and drove like 200 kilometers an hour, which of course I'm like, closing my eyes because I'm scared. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really cool. So yeah, sehr gut. And that's been the updates this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and press like. If you want Sunday news each Sunday, go ahead and press subscribe. And in the meantime, I'm wishing everybody a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.